This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen Gipp, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news.
It's Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, and here are today's stories. Education should open doors, but for many girls, it's a daily struggle just to walk through the school gates. We look at the deep-rooted barriers keeping young women in Malawi out of the classroom. What if kids really could sense more than meets the eye? One small town in Poland celebrates children with reported extrasensory perception, and it's sparking big conversations. Turkish officials want people to step up and onto a scale. A new public health push hopes to tackle obesity with BMI checks in busy areas, but critics say it's more spectacle than substance. A dip in the river can be pure joy until you notice the pollution. We're diving into why protecting natural swim spots matters more now than ever. After 20 years of silence, a Romanian casino is alive again, restored to its former grandeur. It's now a glowing tribute to the nation's cultural legacy. And when it comes to healing, could a simple natural product do the trick? We explore the surprising power of DMSO and what it could mean for personal care.
In Malawi, getting an education isn't easy for many girls. They face enormous challenges like child marriage, gender-based violence, and harmful stereotypes. Education should be a doorway to opportunity, but for many girls, it's one of their biggest challenges. According to the UK charity Think Malawi, only 51% of girls in the country finish primary school. For many, the journey to school is long and dangerous, increasing the risk of exploitation and leading to higher dropout rates. Evidence shows while more girls than boys complete primary school, the numbers drop significantly in secondary school. In Malawi, primary school is free, but families have to pay for secondary school, including tuition, transport, and accommodation. For many children, these costs make secondary education out of reach. As a result, only 15% of girls and 16% of boys finish upper secondary education. And for those living in poverty, the numbers plummet to just 2%, according to the International Parliamentary Network for Education. The reality is even tougher in rural areas, where children struggle to access education.
The name of my school is Sambazi CDSS. I am from 2. I wake up in 5 o'clock a.m. When I get up, I clean plate, drawing water, and cooking breakfast. I leave at school for 6 o'clock. I take 2 hours by walking. I attend 9 subjects. Long of each subject may take 40 minutes. My favorite subject is English, mathematics, biology, and social. I want to be a nurse. I get home at 3:30. After I got home, I clean plate, drawing water. After eating food at 7 o'clock p.m., I'm reading. I study for 1 hour 30 minutes because it is far away from my home. Sometimes I come to school, and also when I'm coming late to home, so it's difficult to read notes because I'm very tired.
These barriers to education are deeply intertwined with other issues, particularly violence and child marriage. Gender-based violence is a widespread problem. End Gender-Based Violence Africa reports 1 in 3 women experience physical or sexual violence, while 1 in 5 girls face sexual abuse before their 18th birthday. To make matters worse, 42% of girls are married before they turn 18, according to UN Women.
For many of these girls, early marriage ends their education and traps them in a cycle of poverty, violence, and health risks. It's not just about early marriage and violence, though. There are other factors at play. A shortage of secondary schools and limited job opportunities for girls also discourage education. Cultural norms further normalize early marriage, teenage pregnancy, and early sexual activity, making it even harder for girls to stay in school.
And tell me then, in a family or a community, in terms of the children going to school, do boys and girls have the equal chance to go to school, secondary school?
I don't think so, because I live in the village. What we see in the villages is if a family have two children, a boy and a girl, mostly the family would prefer the boy to go to secondary school than a girl, because it's like a tradition where most girls would get early married while the boys would continue with the education.
Okay, and I know that it is illegal in Malawi to be married before you're 18, but how is the reality on the ground in North Malawi?
The reality on the ground is that the legality of this matter is not actually true on the ground, because if the legal system was being applied, then it would be proper. But you find that children are being married and there's nothing happening to the parents. In Tanzania, if a girl in primary school is either married or impregnated, the whole punishment goes to the parents. There are some children from Tanzania who have been married in our place. They are followed by their parents because of the punishment which they get from the government.
There are policies like the National Education Sector Plan and programs that allow young mothers to return to school. But these efforts aren't enough on their own. Research suggests improving school infrastructure, offering scholarships, and launching awareness campaigns to support girls' education. As the global partnership Together for Girls highlights, giving girls access to education and better economic opportunities is key to keeping them safe, empowering them, and breaking the cycle of poverty and inequality.
In a small town in Poland, the impossible becomes possible, with young minds exploring new potential. UNN Field Messenger Maria reports on a town event celebrating children with extrasensory perception.
Hi, I'm Maria Schweitzer, a field messenger from Poland. We are gathered here in a small town south of Poznań, a big city in Poland, to celebrate the first day of children with extrasensory perceptions. Over 50 children plus their parents or guardians are gathered here to test playful a day of children with extrasensory perceptions. Children between 3 and 18 years can be tested for extrasensory perceptions with their eyes closed and a paper mask on. Since about 1 year in Poland exists Academy for Children with Extrasensory Perceptions.
Hi, my name is Joseph Dabrowski. I'm one of the creators of this event. Main creator is Michał Reisner and his daughter Natalie Reisner. Within just a few hours, every child present activated their ability to perceive beyond the ordinary senses. They were able to read colors, identify words, describe objects, and locate hidden items. We demonstrated that the impossible is indeed possible, showing parents the extraordinary potential of their children, which transformed their view of them. We helped the children recognize their uniqueness and highlighted the accessibility of the extrasensory perception in children when instructors understand how to awaken it. With over 100 witnesses beyond the organizers, many captured this experience on video and are now sharing it on social media. This event will become a regular gathering, with the next one scheduled for January, where another group of children will explore their extrasensory potential. Our certified instructors activate extrasensory perception every day, dozens of children. We've proven that our instructor training system for extrasensory perception is effective. The Polish Academy of Extrasensory Perception has a 100% success rate in activating children's extrasensory vision. Thank you very much.
Turkish health officials are setting up scales in public places, encouraging citizens to step on and learn their BMI. It's part of a bold nationwide campaign to tackle the country's growing obesity crisis, which health authorities warn could soon spiral out of control. But while the government insists it's about awareness and health, critics argue it's more a public spectacle than a real solution. The campaign is called Learn Your Ideal Weight, Live Healthy, and it took place all over the country during a 2-month period from May through July 2025, from bus stops and public squares to parks and shopping centers. Health workers set up stations where people can stop by, hop on a scale, and have their height and weight measured. From there, they're told their body mass index, or BMI. If that number is over 25, they're referred to a government-run health center for free diet and lifestyle counseling. It's all part of an effort to raise awareness and, ideally, help people take action before weight-related health problems get worse.
These people are being publicly weighed. It's part of a nationwide campaign launched in mid-May to tackle obesity in Turkey. The country's health ministry has sent doctors and dietitians to busy streets and squares to measure citizens' height, weight, and calculate their body mass index, or BMI.
Benim sonuç güzel zaten. Ben Akdeniz usulü yani beslenirim. Yani ben kilo almam fazla.
Benim biraz sınırın üstünde. Daha da dikkat edeceğim, şimdi görmüş olduk. Beraber görünce en azından biraz daha farkında oluyor insan. Düzelteceğiz.
People with BMI values of 25 and above are referred to health centers where they can receive free nutritional counseling and follow-up care.
Bizim buradaki asıl mücadelemiz sadece kilo verelim değil. Kilo verelim ve aynı zamanda bu hastalıkları da azaltalım. Tansiyon, şekeri ve kalp krizi riskinden de kurtulmak için kilo verilmesi lazım. Projemizin asıl amacı da bu.
The numbers are pretty alarming. According to a 2022 World Health Organization report, Turkey ranks first in Europe when it comes to obesity. About 67% of adults are either overweight or obese, and around 32% fall into the obese category alone. If nothing changes, experts predict 1 in 3 Turks will be obese by 2030, and by 2060, the rate could be a jaw-dropping 94%. That's not just a personal health issue, it's a public health emergency. So, what's fueling the problem? A mix of things. First, the cost of healthy food in Turkey has gone way up, so much that many low-income families are priced out of fresh fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins. It's cheaper to buy calorie-dense processed foods that fill you up but don't do your body any favors. Then you've got the rise in sedentary lifestyles, particularly in big cities. Add aggressive junk food advertising and long work hours with little time for exercise, and it's not hard to see how the numbers have climbed.
3 years ago, I was here in Istanbul, and things were extremely cheap for most tourists. But here's how those prices have changed.
1 pomegranate juice, $2.
Today, that pomegranate juice is now $4.70.
Bottle of Coke, 50 cents.
$1.25.
10 Oreos, 65 cents.
$2.
Pasta, 30 cents.
75 cents.
A burger, $1.85 cents.
Today, a burger at this exact same place will cost you $8.60.
Basically, a cup of coffee is $1.60.
Today, that same drink costs $3.90.
Combo donor chicken lunch, $2.80.
Today, that same meal will cost you $8.80. Turkey's inflation just hit 75%, with the biggest annual price increases being housing at 93%, education at more than 100%, and cafes and restaurants at 93%.
For years, food prices in Turkey have soared, leaving many families with few options beyond cheap filling staples like bread and pasta. A 2022 study by the Turkish Statistical Institute found more than 62% of children in Turkey primarily eat those two things. Activists say this kind of diet can lead to both malnutrition and obesity, especially when fresh produce and protein are out of reach. Food researcher and human rights advocate Bülent Şuk points to the rise in highly processed sugary snacks as a major culprit. These products are everywhere, cheap, easy to grab, and often heavily marketed. Without regulations on their production and sales, Şuk argues most government efforts to fight obesity are just for show. Even worse, he warns of toxic chemicals used in food production, like certain pesticides and additives that can disrupt hormones and contribute to weight gain, especially in kids. A Greenpeace Turkey study backs him up, showing 1/3 of produce in Istanbul contains harmful pesticide residue. And Turkey faces another challenge. There simply aren't enough experts to go around. The number of dietitians working in public hospitals has dropped by nearly 20% over the past 5 years, according to the Health Workers Union. The drop is tied to low pay, heavy workloads, and limited career growth, pushing many out of public hospitals. While little has been done so far, health advocates are urging the government to improve conditions and invest in retaining skilled nutrition experts to meet the country's growing health needs.
Tired before the day begins? NAD Plus levels drop 50% after 40. NAD Plus helps your cells bounce back fast. Most supplements give precursors. NAD Plus skips the breakdown, delivering direct, bioavailable power. Support your energy, metabolism, sleep, and stress levels at the cellular level. Join the NAD Plus revolution. Start your journey to a healthier you. Subscribe today.
Hello, I'm Susan from Sweden.
Mwanda Michael from Eastern Uganda, Africa.
Hi, I'm Tim from Vancouver, Canada.
I'm Titeshwar Fagao from Manipur State, India. I'm Gumba Obasi from Southeast Nigeria.
Arnaito Chakrini from Western Uganda, Mbarara.
At United Network News, you are the news.
My name's Christina, Field Messenger, report first one in the hurricane down here in Southern California from Mexico.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. At UNN, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Jason from United Network News. We're going to be doing some aircrete building with new technologies that allow us to live in comfort and also off the grid.
Take the next step in changing the way the world gets the news. Become a UNN field messenger today.
I am Michelle from South Africa, and we are the United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I'm United Network News.
If it is going to be, then it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
Si va a ser así, depende de mí. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN.
Swimming in rivers is an incredible way to connect with nature. There's nothing like that feeling of the current rushing past you, but nothing kills that vibe faster than polluted water. Really makes you think. Should we all be doing more to keep these beautiful spots clean and inviting?
Wild swimming has seen a huge rise in popularity lately, and it's easy to see why. Besides getting you outside and closer to nature, it also comes with some surprising health benefits. Studies have shown cold water swimming can lower your heart rate, reduce blood pressure, and even help fight off depression. It decreases stress hormones like cortisol while giving a boost to feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. Plus, it's great exercise, clears your mind, and often comes with the added bonus of connecting you with a supportive community. What's not to love? However, the idea of jumping into an inner city river might still seem a little wild in many places in Europe, and for good reason. Pollution is a major issue. In Britain, for example, citizen scientists reported in 2024, 3/4 of the country's rivers are in poor condition. It's a sobering thought and a reminder we have a long way to go.
Well, a new map shows which rivers and seas contain the most sewage around the country. The map was created by scientists at UCL and it's live, so you can check when the most recent sewage spill happened in your local area. A sad poo emoji represents an active spill, a red exclamation mark is a spill that's happened in the last few days, and a green tick means there hasn't been a spill in the last 2 days. Research shows 3/4 of all UK rivers pose a serious risk to human health, and people who regularly swim or bodyboard in the UK are 3 times more likely to have antibiotic-resistant E. coli in their guts. Last year, activists wanted an environmental emergency to be declared after raw sewage was discharged for more than 3.6 million hours into our rivers and seas. Those spills cost water companies £150 million in fines. So why is our water so polluted? It's a mixture of agricultural runoff, which is mostly fertilizers and pesticides used on farms, and human waste, aka number 1s and 2s, which spill into our rivers and seas when sewage systems become overloaded. When there's a storm or heavy rainfall, that's more likely to happen. Sewage systems should be built to withstand a certain amount of extreme weather, but the UK's infrastructure is getting very old and badly in need of an upgrade and repairs. Water companies in the UK are private, unlike much of the world, and are run as for-profit businesses. Critics of the system argue that these companies are not doing enough to improve the situation. In late January, the government did order water companies to spend £22 billion on reducing pollution, but there's a catch. That money will come from your water bills going up.
But there's hope. Just look at Berlin. After banning swimming in the Spree River more than a century ago because of pollution, the city is making serious moves to bring it back. A local advocacy group has been pushing for years to reopen the Spree for swimming, using regular monitoring and improved water quality as proof it's possible. They even organized a collective swim as a form of protest. Recently, about 200 swimmers jumped into the river near Museum Island to prove the water is now clean and safe. City officials are now considering allowing swimming by 2026, though some logistical hurdles remain. Berlin isn't the only European city making waves. In Vienna, people are already enjoying swims in the Danube River Canal. In Basel, locals love cooling off in the Rhine, while in Amsterdam, some of the city's iconic canals are now open for a dip. And in Paris, the Seine River recently reopened for public swimming after a major cleanup operation, fueled by the river's use in last year's Paris Olympics.
You haven't been allowed to swim here for 100 years, until now. The Seine is back, and cleaner than you might think. Swimming used to be part of daily life here, until it was banned in 1923. For decades, the river was too dirty to touch. Then Paris made a choice. 1.4 billion euros went into clean water, better sewers, and smart rainwater systems. Now, as summers get hotter, the Seine offers something essential, a way to cool down. It fits the Paris of today. Fewer cars, more green, space for people. Nature's returning too. DNA from rare mussels found in the Seine shows signs the river's ecosystem is recovering.
Progress is possible when cities commit to action. For proof of just how far we can go, look no further than Switzerland. Back in the 1960s, Swiss rivers were heavily polluted with raw sewage and industrial waste, and only 14% of the population had access to wastewater treatment plants. Fast forward to today, and 98% of people are connected to advanced sewage treatment systems. Switzerland's rivers and lakes are now famous for their pristine, clear waters, often referred to as the country's blue gold. It's an inspiring example of what's possible when we prioritize clean water.
Amazingly, Switzerland used to have some of the dirtiest rivers in the whole of Europe, and now, 60 years-ish later, it's got some of the cleanest. And all they did was change one thing. You see, in 2016, Switzerland became the first country to legally enforce the cleanup of drugs and chemicals in their waterways, which seems bonkers. They contain things like antidepressants, antibiotics, diabetes treatments, anti-inflammatories. They are horrendous, and they are everywhere. In fact, in the UK, 75% of our waterways are described as being in bad ecological health and have a load of that stuff in them. Now, the thing is, most sewage systems do an okay job of dealing with things like organic waste, but they're less effective with chemicals. So Switzerland did something really clever. They invested in wastewater treatment plants, which work a bit like your stomach. They filter out all the bad stuff. 250 litres every single second goes through just one of these. They've got 37 across the country. And it gets rid of all the stuff like rubbish, food, money, things people flush down their toilets. You name it, it's filtered out. That water then goes through active charcoal, which acts a bit like a sponge and absorbs all those microchemicals, leaving you with this lovely, nice, clean water. They're going to have over 100 of these plants by 2040. It sort of becomes a case of what do we value and what should we spend money on. At the moment, we're spending quite a lot of money per person on something that doesn't work. Whereas for a bit more money, we could have something that works incredibly well and means we could actually use our rivers. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Many European rivers and lakes are still struggling. A 2024 report from the European Environment Agency found only 37% of surface waters have good ecological status, and just 29% meet good chemical standards. Clearly, there's work to be done. As interest in restoring rivers is growing, governments are feeling the pressure to act. And the European Union has pledged to restore 25,000 kilometers of rivers to free-flowing conditions by 2030. It's an ambitious goal, but with so many examples of success, it's possible.
The Constanta Casino in Romania has been fully restored and reopened after over 2 decades of abandonment. UNN Field Messenger Monica highlights its remarkable transformation into a cultural and historical landmark.
Hello, Monica here, Field Messenger, reporting from Constanta in Romania for United Network News. Coming to you as promised with updated information about the complete restoration of Constanta Casino. The Constanta Casino, a magnificent Art Nouveau architectural gem built on the shores of the Black Sea, was inaugurated over a century ago. It was once a popular destination for people from all over Europe and beyond. It has survived wars, governments, and oblivion, but it has always remained in people's hearts as a symbol of elegance and strength. Constanta Casino was reopened on May 21, 2025, during the City Day celebrations, after an extensive renovation process that lasted 5 years, given that it had been abandoned for more than 2 decades, during which time it became a ruin that could collapse into the sea. Today, the fully restored casino, fondly nicknamed the Pearl of the Black Sea, located right on the seafront on the main promenade, making it an ideal starting point for an evening stroll at sunset. In this report, I am happy to share with you the joy of this pearl's stubborn persistence in remaining with us and not being reclaimed by the sea, considering that the casino was built on land that was originally underwater, and that now the casino, which welcomes its visitors with a diverse cultural program, interactive exhibitions, spaces dedicated to history, art and science, it is not just a restored monument. It is a living space that is reborn with each step, each glance, and each discovered story. The public visiting areas of this iconic building are organized across 3 levels. The basement of the casino features temporary exhibitions that use new media technologies to provide visitors with an immersive experience of the underwater world. The reception area is located on the ground floor. From there, visitors move into the reception hall, which is home to the famous staircase that has been featured in many photos and films about the casino. Access to the upper level is via the famous staircase, which has been largely preserved in its original form. From the main hall, guests can enter a smaller room overlooking the sea called the Hall of Mirrors. Thank you for watching. Bye.
The brilliant result of using natural remedies can often leave lasting impressions, especially when it comes to personal care and recovery. UNN Field Messenger Soraya shares her experience with a simple yet powerful product called DMSO.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Soraya Correa. I am a field messenger for UNN, reporting from Lithia, Florida. I want to talk to you about a product that I use. It's called DMSO. I got attacked last year walking my dog, and I got bitten on the side of my face and my leg. I was using the DMSO, this product, for my wrinkles. After my attack, I realized that my marks were gone in something like 3 to 4 months. It lasts you very long because you only need a little drops of the product. I apply in my face and now my leg too. I'm going to put all the aloe crystals. DMSO. It's half and half. Half of the product, DMSO, and half of whatever you're mixing it with. In this case, aloe vera. Going to mix the product. For when you're going to use it, it's very simple. You can use drops or you can use it with your hands. A very small quantity will do. Just make sure that you have clean hands, clean face, and you just apply. Very simple. It could itch a bit if you put too much, but you don't need to put a lot for it to work. And this is all I do. And that's how I got rid of my mark here where I have the incident with the dog that bite me on this side. Again, thanks for watching.
UNN is changing the face of news. Join us for our weekly Field Messenger meetings and learn how you can make a difference. Visit UnitedNetwork.Earth for more information. Thanks for watching.